Hello, everybody. Welcome again to the Occupy Hollywood Network. Um, we are here with another movie review. Um, Jacob, how many times are you going to say I don't know. Let's see. What are we reviewing again? Oh, okay, okay. Everybody, hold up. This movie has such a special place in my heart. Why? Because if you were to ask me what movie I've seen the most in my entire life, it is this one, which is Looney Tunes Back in Action. Now, here's the thing, right? I won't say who the YouTuber is, but there's a YouTuber I really like, and I was gonna. No, I don't need to say his name, but like he always tells me, or no, he always speaks, in his YouTube videos that both growing up and now, because me and him are like the same age, that he doesn't like animated movies. He just doesn't. Now, me being the pop culture guy, you know, Jacob Erie, uh, I just cannot not like anything that is not animated. In fact, me and this YouTuber are probably polar opposites because he probably likes, nonfiction, historical stuff, things of the past. I like things that are fictional. I don't really like talk about history. I know history is important and all this other stuff, but like I'm more of a visionary. I think the future, the present and the future is what people should be focusing on the most. And I think that, uh, you know, I have very fond memories of, going to Disneyland, um, different movies I used to watch, the holiday seasons, different stories that I've had. And movies have always been a big part of my life. I think a lot of people can say that. And the thing is, I think movies just have always like inspired me to do better, but also have really taken me out of like the absolute shit show that I was in, like theoretically and figuratively in my life, or figuratively, not theoretically, in my life. And I just think that, when I think of human history, of all the things that humans have experienced and like the different things, starting with Adam and Eve, all the biblical stuff, how, the advent of America and like Western civilization, having to go out and hunt for your food and not having electricity and living in huts and all these different things. We are truly the spoiled generation, or of like human, of mankind and in human history. And like I said, I always say this. I think pop culture is a huge blessing. I think a lot of people take it for granted. Now, I'm not saying just we take it for granted is applicable to everybody. Maybe just people just don't find any value to it, or it's not something that's really part of their life because maybe they have other priorities or duties, and that's fair enough. Everyone's entitled to self-determine and entitled to self-actualize how they see fit. Free will. That's what it is. Um, Looney Tunes Back in Action is like, so. I used to, when I was living in my parents' house, I used to have a red room. I used to have red walls, red bed sheets, and wood and everything. It was just like a bunch of hand me downs. And I used to remember that every time I would watch Looney Tunes back in Action, I'd be eating pizza bites, like whether it be the round ones or like the rectangular ones. So I have a very strong like sense, smell, nostalgia um, memory to like Looney Tunes Back in Action, because whenever I hear it or think of it, I think of the music, the score, the different lines, the one-liners that have like cracked me up, and then pizza bites. And I'm surprised, like looking back, I'm like, I'm surprised I was never fat because this was going on for a long time, like a really long time. And also in that room, I remember um, another strong memory I had in that room was I was really, really into the Naked Brothers band, which was like this obscure Nickelodeon band. And I remember I had the little CD and I would play it on loud in the middle of the night while everyone was sleeping. I don't know how my family put up with that, but because I could never. But and then being in love with like said girl or whoever. I think it had to be Julia at the time. God bless her. I did that girl dirty. Oh, Jacob, are you a cheater? No, but it's a long story. Maybe I'll make a video about it. But back to the Looney Tunes Back in Action. So I'm gonna compare these two movies, just like how I did with the two Power Rangers movies. Because Space Jam and Looney Tunes Back in Action, uh, could I say one is better? Even though it was hard for the Power Rangers ones, I can say with the Looney Tunes Back in Action, I do think the acting's better. Now, like I said, voice acting is always on par. It's always par for the course. It's always amazing because voice actors are probably like the most underrated like group in all of art, next to like crew members and stuff like that. And I think Brendan Fraser in the role, and then what's her name? The girl who's like let me look it up. Kate. Wait, no, I think that's her character's name. So, Looney Tunes Back in Action stars Brendan Fraser, uh, and Jenna Elfman as Kate Houghton. Brendan Fraser plays. What's his character's name? Dude, I've seen it so many times. And Jacob, how you seen me so many times? You can't remember the characters' names. Stop. I'm not perfect. Also has Steve Martin. Steve Martin as the villain. Um, and honestly, guys, if you've never seen Looney Tunes Back in Action, you should watch it. Whether you're coming back home from a date, or like the kids are out of town, or like you just want to put something on for the kids, right? Or you're just bored out of your mind. It's a Sunday afternoon and you just got a lot done. Looney Tunes Back in Action is a good time. Um, and when I think of this movie, there's so many funny moments. I literally want to say the funny moments, but I don't want to like ruin the movie because it might, you might enjoy it not knowing what those moments are. And there's something really cozy and adventurous about this movie. So here's the thing, right? Sometimes in a movie, there'll be like a moment where like there'll be a lot of action, a lot of commotion, a lot of shenanigans going on, like a dramatic sequence. And then after that, there'll be like a fade away, and then there'll be like at some like random campfire, like it'll be nighttime, and then characters are like, you know, they're on hiatus for a moment, like because movies go on like this roller coaster. Um, I always told myself when I make movies and like tell stories, there's always like this cozy aspect to it and like this adventurous aspect of it, where you kind of like alternate in between these different things. And I used to think to myself, I really need. It's not that I want to make this like a trademark, like something that only I do, but I do think it's something I want to like take and kind of just um, elevate a little bit more, if that makes sense. Because there's plenty of people who do this, they just might not describe it in the same way that I do. With that being said, Looney Tunes Back in Action is like, whenever I'm thinking of a different scene, I'm just like thinking to myself, like, I want to be there. I want to be around these people. And the movie kind of starts off in like, on a Hollywood lot with like the Looney Tunes, because like it's a mixture of like the real humans and the Looney Tunes, which I think is really fascinating. Only God could let such a thing happen. That'd be kind of cool. But also, could you like imagine like interacting with like a Looney Tune because like the way they look? Because I'm sure you guys know about the concepts of like 1D, 2D, 3D, like 4D. Obviously, humans can comprehend like 3D, but they like can't like really interpret 4D as much as like the carnal mind would let them to. Because I'm like sure like heaven and God, like, you know, these like 4D like and beyond kind of things. But like when I think of like if you were to interact with like a Looney Tune, it's almost like you were if you were like interacting with like a piece of paper. But like, would it be almost like if you were to interact with them, would it be like your mind's like constantly going like in the perspective of like 2D and 3D, or like would you feel them the same way you would like any other human, or would like your brain, because like if your brain doesn't comprehend something, it will try to like or it will try to like explain it or rationalize it as much as it can. If like would your brain just be like error the whole time? I don't know. Maybe I don't know. Maybe when I pass along to the next life, I can ask God, like, "Hey, God, I got some questions for you." And so, I'm trying to think of things that this movie could have done better. You know, there's a lot of people in this movie. Like, there's like cameos from different actors in different Looney Tunes, and like the villain is great, the protagonist is great, the supporting cast is great. I think well, before I say any criticisms, I think one of the things I really liked about this movie is I like the dynamic between Kate, which is Jenna Elfman's character, and then Brendan Fraser's character. What the heck is Brendan Fraser's character name? Brendan Fraser character name. Looney Tunes. What's it? What is it? Oh, it's not gonna give it to me. Oh, it's DJ. Yeah, DJ Drake. Or no, it's Drake Jr. Yeah, Damian DJ Drake Jr. Yeah, because he's named after his father, because his father's a spy. Spoiler alert. And so I think that the dynamic between DJ and Kate is really good because like it's not like trying to overshadow each other. I mean, technically, you could say Brendan Fraser's character is the main character, but like she's just as much as like the main character as he is, and like so is like Bugs Bunny and Daffy. It's kind of like an ensemble. It's like an unconventional ensemble, but it's really really good. And the movie, what could have done better? Ah, I don't know, man. I don't even think I have any real criticism of it, and I've seen this movie a lot. Um, maybe I always thought in no, be completely honest with you, I always thought that like Jenna Elfman, I was like her in this movie, she's a beautiful woman. I'm like, geez, but you know, this is a little 10-year-old, 15-year-old, now 28-year-old like saying this, but she was always. I was like, God damn. But I digress. And so there's so many things about this movie that like there's a lot of sequences that I really like. I think my favorite part of this movie is when they go to Las Vegas. No spoilers. Um and I also like the part where they go to Area 51. It's so funny. And Area 51 is like this like just absolute how would I describe it? You know, it's like, you know, what you would think Area 51 would look like, but it's kind of funny. You know, what is it? Yeah, I don't think I have any criticisms of this movie. I just really like this movie. So what am I going to give it? Someone's probably saying, Jacob, are you about to get this movie a 10 out of 10? You know, free will, I just might. 10 out of 10. No, because like I said, there's a type of movie that like only exists in my head that is like a 10 out of 10. Um, I'm trying to think. I think I'll give it a. Well, if I don't think it would make much sense if I gave it like an 8 out of 10, because where's the 2 points not coming from? Um, but like I said, it's not a 10 out of 10. Is like a certain type of movie that only exists in my head, so I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10. The Looney Tunes back in action, the movie I've seen the most. How many times have I seen it? Probably over 100 times, legit.